So here they're proposing it for the two sides. That may potentially cause us a problem in terms of precedent setting. That if we do that here, it may be cause for it to happen elsewhere. On this facade facing Pownall Street, we know there's a new building that will be covering that side. The rear side of the building, they're changing the window openings, they're changing the door locations. But we know that when it was converted in 1925, most of the emphasis was on the front of the building. We don't know what changes happened on the back. We don't know if it would have had larger warehouse doors that would have fronted on the water side for wholesale sort of warehouse type purposes. And we're proposing vinyl windows on the back here as well. Again, I think the window trims they basically stop at the front half where the extension eave did as well, so they're more decorative on the front, and they've always been a little simpler on the back. I think those are the main changes, David, unless you have some that I'm missing.
No, that's pretty well it. No, I think you covered it well.
All right, thanks, folks. So what we'll do is we'll open the floor up for questions from the Heritage Board. If you possibly could, if you have any questions, just kind of state your name. That way, Ellen can take minutes quite easily, and then ask your question. So with that, any questions for Mr. Lopez, Todd, or even the applicants? I think are here as well. So
Tara here. I'm just curious. The west side windows will be visible. Is that correct?
Yes, they will. Yes.
Yeah. So they'll be seen. All right.
There's an existing driveway there right now.
Between 22 Water and the Gray Place? Yeah.
Right there. I was going to say, and maybe this might be a time too for like maybe the owners, Spencer, could just mention, I think maybe some of their intentions.
Okay.
Sure. So first of all, thank you, Heritage Board, Greg, and thank you, Todd, for all of your work with us to date. This has really been something that's been led by Steve Dunn, and we have here with us as well Terry Hennessy, who has been project managing the project for us, as well as David, of course, who's the architect. And so, they're both available to answer any specific questions. But what I would just like to say at a high level is that we're very excited about what we're working at here, and really with what's going on Water Street. The street has really, in that section, been revitalizing over the last few years. In particular, the two buildings that Terry Hennessy and Terry purchased and extensively renovated. Just recently, the building next to us is also turned over to new owners, who we understand are interested in making some upgrades. And so, when you combine that with what we're proposing, in short order, you could have four, very historical, newly renovated buildings on that stretch. And we think that, in terms of, key streets in the city, obviously, Great George up to the legislature, it's pretty hard to compete with that. But we see this as being a very beautiful section of the city, very historical, located on the waterfront. And what's going on down in this area in terms of investment is going to drive foot traffic and really sort of expand the walkability of the downtown core, which is good for all. So we're quite excited about that, and that in terms of our, the high level, that is really our vision for what we are doing here and proposing with respect to this building. And what I'd like to do, if it makes sense, is pass it to David or to Terry, as the case may be, to speak to any of the specific changes that we're proposing.
Thanks, Spencer.
And
And just one comment on the windows, and I think I'm going to let Terry speak to this. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hi Greg, how's it going?
Hi, Terry.
So the wood on the west side, the windows there, I think you did apply for vinyl. And obviously on the east side, but the east side is going to be covered by new structure. So that was the reason for applying for vinyl on the sides and the back.
Okay. So just a quick question. So the most visible side, being the side, the picture we're looking at now, that would have the most exposure, I guess, from an aesthetic standpoint from the streetscape. You know, is there any appetite to maybe go with the wooden on those windows versus that? You know, maybe the other side, which does get buried a little bit with the new construction going on.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in the room here with Terry and Spencer, and you can't see the heads nodding, but yes, we'd be prepared to do that, Greg.
I'm not saying that's the direction we want to go. I'm just kind of throwing that out. If the board, maybe I beat someone to the question already, but just wanted to throw it out there. Okay, thanks. Any questions? Any other questions from the board?
On the front facade there, are those going to be still 6/9 the way they're portrayed in the rendering?
Yes, they will. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And the dimensions on the driveway side there, the windows, do they change in size the way they are on the back, or are they going to be what we see, or?
Same size. No change in the dimension. Same size.
Okay. So I guess the question I have for the board is, just I'll say with these windows here, are we okay with going with vinyl on this side, folks?
I would prefer to see wood on at least the west side, since it's visible from the street. Kara speaking.
Okay.
We think I think that was Tara.
Yeah.
We think that's a fair compromise. I mean, on the other side, the new building is going to be very close. So if it was approved with panel on the east side and wood on the west, that would be acceptable to us.
And we'll continue with vinyl. We'll just say vinyl on the back. If that's that. Is that?
Because I think is there precedent for that?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm Tara again. I'm fine with the vinyl on the back.
Okay. Is that a consensus among the board members? Is that from the window perspective? Are we okay with that, or?
Yeah, I would be.
I'd be good. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. So what other?
I just want to confirm as well. I think it's fine, but I just want to confirm that we realize we're also moving from 6/6 to 2/2, which it historically can make sense as well.
Okay, so the design and the window themselves. So is the board okay with the proposed changes to the, as Todd just mentioned?
Yes, I am. Tara again.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Wayne here. I agree as well, and I've taken into account Todd's message about setting precedents. I think it would be a dangerous thing to do.
In what sense, Wayne? Sorry, just the.
Oh, and just by creating a precedent.
Yeah. For the design of the window.
Vinyl, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So are you okay with what they're proposing
Yes.
versus okay? Okay, perfect. All right, so the window, I think we solved the windows for the most part. Todd, correct?
Yes, I think so. I think we're
Okay.
good with that.
So what else are we reviewing? Anything else? The siding, I'm guessing, is the next, or is that okay? Okay, so any questions with regards to the material used for the siding that they're proposing versus what's there now?
What was on the building originally? Is there any historic records of it? Just for curiosity.
Well, the best we have is this photo. I think it's always been wood shingle. We can't really see clearly on that. It could have been a clapboard, but I don't know if it was changed to shingles in the 25 renovation. But I think the early description speaks of shingle, so I'm assuming it was always wood shingle. A change typically from shingle to clapboard typically hasn't been a problem.
So are you okay with
Yeah,
that?
I don't have an issue, Greg, with
Okay.
changing. I was just curious as to whether it was a going back to what it was originally or what it had been. No, I have no difficulty with clapboard. I think that's very appropriate as well.
I'm with you, Tara. Okay, so any other comments on the siding? Is everyone okay with the siding component, or is there any other questions, or do they need some further information?
Is Aaron Stafford here? Is the intent to upgrade insulation levels, or are the shingles in terrible shape? It's a ton of work to kind of strip the wood shingles and put on wood siding. I'm curious to the rationale behind it.
Yeah, the insulation is going to be increased as well. I think, like, we're proposing, or Terry, did you want to answer that one?
No, I was just going to say that some of the shingles are in a pretty rough shape. Plus, we want the option of tie-backing the inside of the property to make it tighter. And yeah, the insulation does have to be upgraded in the perimeter.
Okay.
Does that answer your questions, Aaron?
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
Okay. All right, any other questions with regards to the siding? So are we okay with the siding, folks, moving forward? I'm just trying to go piece by piece here. We don't miss any.
I'm in favor of the siding.
Okay.
Simon in favor.
Okay. All right. What else, Todd? Are we looking to review here? Is there anything else?
Not much. Maybe the rear elevation, the openings have changed there.
Okay. Do you have any opposition to this, Todd, yourself? As
No, I don't. I'm actually curious to see when the shingles come off what the sheathing would indicate underneath of what the original openings may or may not have been.
okay. All right. To the planning board, the Heritage Board, any questions, folks, with regards to the elevation?
Aaron Stafford here again. I would say this is pretty consistent with the other applications we've seen along that section, as far as, the methods of construction, the wood, the glass, the windows. I mean, they're facing the water. They are part of the waterfront, but they're not part of the streetscape. But I would say it's pretty in keeping with Terry's previous project that was before the Heritage Board as well. So I don't see anything here that's significantly out of character with what we've approved prior to.
Okay, and I agree with Spencer's comments earlier. I think if you look at the revitalization of Water Street, I mean, from both sides, it looks. I think Water Street's really looking beautiful, and like I said, thanks to all the developers for putting that money into it. I think it looks great. All right, is there any other questions or comments?
No, I'm fine with everything.
Okay.
Tara speaking.
Okay, so now that we've kind of been through this, let's kind of put a proper motion forward. As we need someone to put a motion forward to accept all changes that we discussed, which is basically the wood windows on one side, but everything else being okay as proposed.
I'll move that, Greg. I'll move that we go with Zach's recommendation. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So Todd, you got all that?
I do.
Okay, perfect. All right. If there's no further comments or questions, all in favor?
Aye.
In favor. Okay. Is there anyone opposed? Okay. Hearing none and seeing none, so motion carried. All right. I think that is it for today. Thanks to everybody for joining, and need a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Enjoy the beautiful day.
Thanks very much. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you, folks.